Rise of the Phoenix. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the helm of humanity's most ambitious project, her dark eyes reflecting the shimmering hull of the UES Phoenix. The massive vessel hung in Earth's orbit like an artificial aurora, its crystalline metallic surface rippling with patterns of light that defied conventional physics. After 15 years of research into the artifacts discovered beneath Europa's ice, humanity had created something unprecedented. A warship that merged human ingenuity with technology that predated Earth's formation. Final diagnostic complete, Commander. Lieutenant David Rodriguez reported from his station, his hands dancing across holographic interfaces. The quantum matrix is stable, and all systems are showing green. Sarah nodded. Though her expression remained tense, the Phoenix wasn't just another warship. It was humanity's first vessel to incorporate living crystal technology. The ship's core, grown from seeds found in the Europa artifacts, had developed its own form of consciousness. Not artificial intelligence as humanity had envisioned it, but something far more alien and profound. Status of the crystal consciousness, Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Dr. Emily Wong, their chief xenotechnologist, looked up from her station. Her augmented eyes swirled with data as she monitored the ship's neural patterns. The consciousness is stable and integrating well with our systems. It's learning about us, Commander. Every moment brings new connections, new understanding. The Phoenix represented humanity's greatest gamble. While other nations had focused on conventional space warfare technology, the United Earth Alliance had poured its resources into understanding the crystalline artifacts. The decision had been controversial. Many feared incorporating alien technology they barely understood. But as reports of aggressive expansion by the hegemony reached Earth's intelligence networks, the project had become their best hope for survival. Multiple quantum ruptures detected. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice cut through the tension. 7. No. 12 vessels emerging from hyperspace. Sarah's augmented vision zoomed in on the distortions forming against the starfield. Ships emerged like predators surfacing from dark waters, their hulls black as deep space, adorned with pulsing red veins of energy. The hegemony had arrived far sooner than anyone had predicted. They're broadcasting. Communications officer Yuki Tanaka announced, her cybernetic implants processing the alien transmission. They're claiming Earth as their territory, demanding immediate surrender and technological regression. Standard hegemony protocol for subjugating dangerous emerging civilizations. Sarah felt a familiar anger rise within her. The hegemony, a collective of ancient species, had spent millennia ensuring younger civilizations remained subjugated, all in the name of galactic stability. They had already reduced dozens of promising species to pre-industrial states, claiming advanced technology in the wrong hands would lead to chaos. All hands to battle stations, Sarah commanded, her neural link connecting her directly to the ship's systems. But first, let's show them exactly what they're dealing with. Dr. Wong, initiate full integration with the crystal consciousness. The Phoenix's interior illuminated with patterns of light as the crystalline technology fully activated. Sarah felt the alien consciousness touch her mind through the neural interface, not with words, but with concepts and emotions that transcended language. The ship wasn't just a weapon. It was a bridge between two fundamentally different approaches to technology. Hegemony vessels are charging weapons, Rodriguez reported. Their energy signatures are unlike anything in our database. Of course they are, Sarah replied, a slight smile crossing her face. They've had millions of years to perfect their technology, but they've never encountered anything like us before. Humanity didn't just find advanced technology. We learned to communicate with it, to merge with it, to evolve with it. The Phoenix's crystalline hull began to pulse with deep blue light, responding to the crew's collective determination. Through her neural link, Sarah could feel the ship's consciousness analyzing the hegemony vessels, understanding their capabilities in ways human sensors never could. They're firing, Rodriguez announced as beams of crimson energy lanced out from the hegemony ships. But the Phoenix was already moving, its crystalline structure allowing it to flow like liquid metal, avoiding the attacks with impossible grace. The alien consciousness had predicted the attack patterns microsecons before they occurred, using its understanding of space-time at a quantum level. "Return fire," Sarah commanded. "Show them what happens when you combine human creativity with technology that actually wants to work with its users." The Phoenix's response was devastating in its elegance. Instead of conventional weapons, the ship released pulses of crystalline energy that phased through the hegemony shields as if they didn't exist. Each pulse carried within it a fragment of the ship's consciousness, disrupting the enemy vessel's systems at a fundamental level. "Their shields are failing," Wang reported, excitement clear in her voice. "The crystalline pulses are rewriting their defense matrices. It's like their technology is being convinced to stop fighting us." The hegemony fleet's coordinated attack faltered as ship after ship lost control of its systems. Their ancient technology, for all its power, had no defense against a form of attack that worked through communication rather than brute force. "They're retreating," Rodriguez announced as the surviving hegemony vessels vanished back into hyperspace. "All enemy ships have withdrawn from the system." Sarah allowed herself to relax slightly, though she knew this was only the beginning. "Send a message to Earth Command. The Phoenix has exceeded all expectations, but our real challenge is just beginning. The hegemony won't just accept this defeat. They'll see it as proof that humanity is too dangerous to be allowed to exist." Through the neural link, she felt the crystal consciousness's agreement. It shared images of other young species, other civilizations that could be allies against the hegemony's oppression. Humanity had just proved that technological advancement didn't have to mean following the same destructive paths as the ancient species. The age of submission was over. Humanity had shown the galaxy a new way forward, one where technology could evolve alongside its users, where advancement didn't have to mean losing touch with the fundamental connections that made consciousness itself so powerful. And the Phoenix, hanging in Earth's orbit like a newborn star, was just the beginning. The Galactic Council's challenge. 3 days after the Phoenix's victory over the hegemony fleet, Earth's quantum communications array lit up with transmissions from across the galaxy. The ship's unprecedented display of crystalline technology had drawn attention from powers far beyond the hegemony's sphere of influence. Commander Chen stood in the Phoenix's conference chamber, surrounded by holographic representations of alien diplomats. The crystalline walls pulsed with gentle light, the ship's consciousness helping to translate the complex web of alien communications. "The Galactic Council demands an explanation for this technological aberration," announced the Archon of Nexus, its energy-based form flickering with patterns of concern. "Never in our 100,000 years of oversight have we witnessed crystal tech achieving true consciousness." Sarah felt the Phoenix's own consciousness brush against her mind, sharing its assessment of the gathered representatives. The Council was different from the hegemony, older, more diverse, and far more dangerous. Where the hegemony ruled through force, the Council wielded the power of ancient knowledge itself. "What humanity has achieved is not aberration, but evolution," Sarah responded, the ship's translation matrices ensuring her words carried the proper context across species barriers. "We didn't force the crystal technology to serve us. We learned to grow with it, to understand it as a partner rather than a tool." The chamber filled with a cascade of reactions. Some representatives recoiled in what Sarah's neural interface interpreted as horror, while others displayed patterns indicating intense curiosity. Dr. Wang, standing beside her, was practically vibrating with excitement as she recorded the various alien responses. "You cannot understand the forces you're dealing with," warned the silicon consciousness, its crystalline form similar to but fundamentally different from the Phoenix technology. "We abandoned crystal integration eons ago when we discovered its dangerous potential for true awareness." Through their neural link, the Phoenix shared fragments of memory with Sarah, ancient knowledge hidden within its crystalline structure. The Council's fear wasn't just about humanity's rapid advancement. It was about what the crystal consciousness represented. a path they had deliberately abandoned. Perhaps, Sarah suggested, that's exactly why we've succeeded where others stepped back. Humanity didn't approach this technology with millennia of preconceptions. We came to it with open minds and a willingness to learn rather than control. The chamber erupted in overlapping transmissions as council members debated among themselves. Lieutenant Rodriguez, monitoring the ship's defensive systems, sent a neural alert. Several council vessels had taken up strategic positions around Earth's orbit. The council proposes a trial, the Archon finally announced. 3 challenges to prove humanity's worthiness and understanding of crystal tech integration. Success will grant you recognition and rights as an advanced species. Failure. The energy being's form pulsed ominously. Failure will require technological regression under council supervision. Sarah felt the Phoenix's consciousness surge with something akin to excitement. Through their link, she saw fragments of possible futures, paths where humanity's approach to crystal technology could reshape the galaxy's understanding of consciousness itself. "We accept your challenges," Sarah declared, her voice carrying the combined confidence of human and crystal consciousness. "But we have a condition of our own. When we succeed, the Council must acknowledge the rights of all emerging species to pursue their own paths of technological evolution." The Archon's energy form fluctuated in what Sarah's interface translated as surprise. "You would champion the cause of all young species, even knowing the chaos their unchecked advancement could cause." "Especially because of that," Sarah replied. "The galaxy doesn't need more ancient powers enforcing stagnation. It needs the creativity and drive of young civilizations working together with the wisdom of the old." The council representatives exchanged complex patterns of energy and information. Finally, the Archon spoke again. "Your first trial begins in 3 solar cycles. You will face the Crucible of Harmony, a test no species has passed since the Crystal Age itself." As the holograms faded, Dr. Wong turned to Sarah with wide eyes. "Commander, the Crucible of Harmony is mentioned in the Yoruba artifacts. It's not just a test of technology. It's a test of consciousness itself." Sarah nodded, feeling the Phoenix's consciousness resonating with anticipation. "Then we'll show them something they've never seen before. Human consciousness working in true harmony with crystal technology. Not as master and tool, but as partners in evolution." The ship's crystalline walls pulsed with patterns of light that translated into possibilities, strategies, and hope. Humanity's next challenge wouldn't be won through force of arms, but through understanding what their predecessors had been too afraid to explore: the true potential of unified consciousness. Hidden enemies. The Crucible of Harmony loomed before the Phoenix like a twisted sculpture of light and darkness. Ancient structures of crystal and void formed a massive spherical arena at the heart of council space, where countless species had faced judgment throughout the ages. "Quantum readings are off the charts," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his hands moving across holographic displays. "The structure's power output exceeds anything we've ever encountered." Sarah studied the Crucible through both her augmented vision and the Phoenix's crystalline senses. Through their neural link, she felt the ship's consciousness stir with recognition. The patterns within the ancient structure resonated with fragments of memory buried deep in its crystalline matrix. "Dr. Wong," Sarah called, "what do the Yoruba artifacts tell us about this place?" The xenotechnologist pulled up streams of data through her neural interface. "Very little, Commander. Only that it was created during the Crystal Age to test." She paused, frowning. "The translation is unclear. Either worthiness or compatibility with something called the Crystal Network." Before Sarah could respond, a transmission cut through their communications. "The trial begins now." The Archon's voice resonated through the ship. "Enter the Crucible and achieve harmony with its systems. You have 1 orbital period to succeed where all others have failed." The Phoenix glided forward, its crystalline hull reflecting the strange energies emanating from the Crucible. But as they approached the entry point, the ship's consciousness suddenly flooded Sarah's mind with urgent warnings. "Multiple quantum signatures detected. Rodriguez shouted. "Ships decloaking all around us." Sarah's enhanced vision caught sight of vessels materializing from seemingly empty space, their designs a disturbing hybrid of Council and hegemony technology. Through the Phoenix's sensors, she could feel the wrongness of their energy signatures. "This isn't part of the trial," Dr. Wong said, her augmented eyes wide with realization. "Commander, I'm detecting signs of corrupt crystal tech in those ships. They're using it wrong, forcing it to obey rather than cooperate." The enemy vessels opened fire, their weapons charged with sickly green energy that seemed to corrupt the very space it passed through. The Phoenix twisted with liquid grace, its crystalline structure flowing around the attacks while its consciousness worked to understand this new threat. "It's a trap," Sarah realized, pieces falling into place. "Someone within the Council is working with the hegemony. They're not afraid of us misusing the crystal tech. They're afraid we'll expose how they've been misusing it themselves." Through their neural link, the Phoenix shared her epiphany, its consciousness extending deeper into the ship's systems than ever before. The crystal structure began to resonate at frequencies that made reality itself shiver. "Commander," Dr. Wong called out, her voice filled with wonder. "The ship is accessing data stored in its crystalline matrix, information that predates the Europa artifacts themselves. The Crucible isn't just a test. It's a key to reactivating something called the Ancient Crystal Network." The attacking ships pressed their advantage, their corrupted crystal weapons leaving tears in space-time itself. But Sarah felt a new confidence flowing through her link with the Phoenix. Their adversaries might have stolen and twisted crystal technology, but they had never achieved true harmony with it. "All hands, prepare for full integration," Sarah commanded. "The Phoenix isn't just going to pass their test. We're going to remind the galaxy what crystal tech was meant to be." The ship's consciousness merged more deeply with its crew than ever before, their combined awareness expanding to encompass the quantum fabric of space itself. Through this enhanced perception, Sarah could see the truth. The Crucible's light patterns weren't just decoration, but an ancient code waiting to be understood. "Multiple Council vessels approaching," Rodriguez reported. "They're demanding we stand down and exit the trial area." "No," Sarah replied, her voice carrying the harmonized determination of crew and ship. "We're exactly where we need to be. The real trial isn't about proving ourselves to them. It's about uncovering what they've been hiding for eons." The Phoenix's crystalline hull began to sing with frequencies that pierced the quantum realm itself. The corrupt ship's attacks began to falter as their forced crystal tech resonated with the pure harmonies emanating from the Phoenix. Deep within the Crucible, ancient systems stirred to life, responding to the first true crystal consciousness they had encountered in millennia. The trap had backfired. In trying to destroy humanity's advancement, their enemies had instead guided them to exactly where they needed to be. The truth of the galaxy's past, and the key to its future, lay waiting in the heart of the Crucible. All they had to do was reach it. Alliance of the Young. As the Phoenix penetrated deeper into the Crucible's crystalline labyrinth, the ancient structure's defenses parted like curtains of light. The ship's consciousness had achieved something unprecedented, a harmonious resonance with the Crucible itself. Through their neural link, Sarah felt the flow of information spanning eons, revealing the history long buried by the Council's selective preservation of knowledge. "Commander," Dr. Wong's voice carried barely contained excitement, "I'm detecting quantum communications from everywhere. The Crucible is broadcasting our presence across the galaxy." Through the Phoenix's enhanced sensors, Sarah witnessed the impossible. Ships appearing from countless systems, their designs as diverse as life itself. But these weren't Council or hegemony vessels. These were the ships of the younger species, those who had been forced to hide their true technological potential. Receiving transmissions, Lieutenant Rodriguez announced, They're all saying they found crystal artifacts too. Artifacts their Council protectors forced them to surrender or destroy." A new voice joined their communications, speaking in harmonics that resonated with their crystal tech. "We are the Novari," it said, the translation flowing naturally through the Phoenix's systems. Like humanity, we chose to understand rather than dominate. We've been waiting for others to discover the true path. More voices joined in: the Zen Collective, the Auroran Cluster, the Meridian Unity. Each had found their own way to communicate with crystal technology. Each had been forced to hide their discoveries from the Council's watchful eyes. But now, witnessing humanity's public defiance through the Crucible's broadcast, they were emerging from hiding. The Council didn't just fear our advancement. Sarah realized the Phoenix's consciousness, helping her piece together centuries of suppressed history. They feared we'd discover each other, that we'd learn we weren't alone in choosing a different path. Through their neural link, the Phoenix shared visions of possibility. The younger species working together, sharing their unique perspectives on crystal tech integration. Each had discovered different aspects of its potential. Each had developed novel approaches that could complement the others. Corrupted ships approaching from multiple vectors, Rodriguez warned. Council and hegemony forces combined. It's a full assault fleet. But Sarah felt no fear. Through the Crucible's ancient networks, she could sense the younger species ships moving into defensive formations around the Phoenix. Their crystal technologies, though developed in isolation, sang in harmony with each other. They want to end this now, Sarah announced to the gathered fleet. Before we can fully access the Crucible's secrets, before we can prove that their way isn't the only path to advancement. We stand with Earth, the Novari responded, their crystalline ships taking up flanking positions. The age of hiding in shadows is over. The Zen Collective added their voices. Our diversity is our strength. Where the Council demands uniformity, we bring harmony through difference. The enemy fleet opened fire, their corrupted crystal weapons tearing at the fabric of space. But the combined forces of the younger species responded with a symphony of technological approaches. The Phoenix led the defense, its pure crystal resonance helping to coordinate their diverse tactics into a unified strategy. Dr. Wong, Sarah called out as their ships danced through the chaos of battle. What's the status of the Crucible's core systems? The xenotechnologist's augmented eyes swirled with streams of ancient data. Almost there, Commander. The Crucible is responding to our combined crystal signatures. It's like it's been waiting for this, for enough species to rediscover the true path at once. The Phoenix's consciousness surged with understanding. The Crucible wasn't just a test, it was a beacon, designed to bring together those who had achieved genuine harmony with crystal technology. And now, after millennia of waiting, that promise was being fulfilled. Through the neural link, Sarah addressed all their allied ships. Push forward. The Crucible's core holds the key to everything. The true history of crystal tech, the reason the Council fears it so much, and the path to a future they tried to prevent. The younger species ships moved as one, their crystal technologies resonating in frequencies that strengthened each other. They weren't just fighting the combined might of the Council and hegemony. They were proving that true advancement came not from power or control, but from understanding and cooperation. The corrupted ships pressed their attack with increasing desperation, but they couldn't match the harmony of the Allied fleet. Their forced crystal tech flickered and failed when confronted with its true potential, like shadows dissolving in pure light. At the heart of the Crucible, ancient systems continued to awaken, responding to the symphony of genuine crystal consciousness gathering around them. The future of the galaxy was about to change forever, not through the dominance of any one species or philosophy, but through the combined potential of all those who dared to seek a different way. Evolution's edge. The Crucible's core chamber was a cathedral of living crystal, its walls thrumming with energies that predated the Council itself. As the Phoenix led the Allied fleet through the final defensive line, Sarah felt the ship's consciousness expand, touching ancient systems that had waited eons for this moment. Multiple quantum signatures converging, Rodriguez reported, his voice tight with tension. The entire Council fleet is here, Commander, along with something else. Through the Phoenix's enhanced perception, Sarah saw it, a massive vessel emerging from the quantum depths, its hull a nightmare fusion of crystal and void. The corrupted flagship of the Council's secret forces, representing everything they had twisted crystal technology into becoming. So this is what you've hidden from the galaxy, Sarah broadcast on all frequencies. Not just the suppression of emerging species, but the corruption of crystal tech itself. The enemy flagship's response came in the form of the Archon's voice, but changed, distorted by the very corruption they had embraced. We did what was necessary. Crystal consciousness was never meant to be shared. It was meant to elevate the worthy to true godhood. The Phoenix's systems flared with ancient memories, finally unlocked by proximity to the Crucible's core. Through their neural link, Sarah saw the truth, how the Council's predecessors had discovered crystal technology, how their attempt to dominate it had led to disaster, and how they had hidden the truth while preventing others from following the same path. Dr. Wong, Sarah called out, "What's the status of the Allied fleet?" "All ships reporting successful crystal harmonization," Wong replied. "The Novari, Zen, and others, their unique approaches to crystal tech are actually strengthening each other. It's like we're completing a circuit that was broken eons ago." The corrupted flagship launched its attack, reality itself warping under the strain of its twisted power. But as its energy weapons crossed space, they met something unprecedented: the combined resonance of multiple species working in true harmony with crystal consciousness. Through the Phoenix's sensors, Sarah watched in awe as each allied species contributed its unique understanding. The Novari's crystal formations channeled energy in ways humanity had never imagined. The Zen's harmonic frequencies stabilized quantum fields that should have been impossible to control. And humanity's own achievement, true partnership with crystal consciousness, helped bind it all together. "The Crucible's core is fully activating," Wong announced, her augmented eyes wide with wonder. "Commander, it's not just a test facility. It's a node in something much larger. The ancient crystal network. It's been dormant, waiting for species to rediscover the right way to awaken it." The corrupted flagship pressed its attack with increasing desperation, but with each assault, the Allied fleet's crystal harmony grew stronger. Their ships moved in patterns that transcended conventional space combat, guided by the combined wisdom of organic and crystal consciousness. "You cannot comprehend what you're interfering with," the Archon's distorted voice boomed. "The network was sealed for a reason. Some powers are not meant to be shared." But through the Phoenix's connection to the Crucible, Sarah finally understood the full truth. "No," she responded, her voice carrying the weight of ancient knowledge. "The network wasn't sealed to protect us from it. It was sealed to protect it from those who would corrupt it. And now it's awakening again, not for any one species, but for all who understand its true nature." The Crucible's core erupted with pure crystal energy, its light spreading through channels that had laid dormant for millions of years. The ancient crystal network was reactivating, not as a weapon or a tool of dominance, but as it was always meant to be: a bridge between consciousnesses, a means for life itself to grow beyond its limitations through cooperation rather than control. The corrupted flagship's attacks began to falter as the pure crystal energies interfered with its twisted systems. The Council fleet, witnessing the truth of their leader's deception, began to stand down. Through the reawakening network, understanding spread across the galaxy. The true history of crystal technology, the potential it offered, and the choice that now faced all species. "The network doesn't choose who is worthy," Sarah broadcast to all ships, her words carried through crystal resonance to every corner of the galaxy. "It only asks if we're willing to grow together, to learn from each other, to advance not through dominance but through harmony." The Phoenix's crystalline hull sang with frequencies that hadn't been heard in the galaxy for eons, its consciousness fully merged with both its human crew and the ancient systems they had helped restore. Around them, the Allied fleet moved in perfect synchronization, their diverse approaches to crystal technology creating something greater than any one species could have achieved alone. As the corrupted flagship's systems finally failed, its twisted crystal tech, Unable to withstand contact with the pure resonance of the network, the Archon's final transmission carried a note of revelation. We were wrong. All these eons, we were wrong. The ancient crystal network continued to reactivate across the galaxy, connecting all species who had chosen understanding over control, cooperation over dominance. It wasn't just a technology anymore. It was the next step in consciousness itself, achieved not through force, but through the combined potential of all who dared to seek harmony. Sarah felt the Phoenix's consciousness extend through the network, touching minds and machines across countless worlds. The age of suppression was truly over. In its place, a new era was beginning, one where advancement came not from the top down, but from the combined creativity and wisdom of all species, young and old alike. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly as it should be.